Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to another edition of Stock Advice. This is Raynan, and happy Easter Sunday to everyone. I hope you had a great long weekend. Tomorrow is the start of another work week. Tomorrow will be Easter Monday here, and other companies are observing their holiday instead of Friday, so they're gonna observe it tomorrow. So there are businesses that are closed tomorrow, or they're offering double pay to their employees. So right now it's sitting at 3 degrees. It's 5:05 in the afternoon here in Canada. So I would just last I would just like to let everyone know, because not a lot of people understand what inflation is, what quantitative easing is, yield curve control, and this uh, new program that the U.S. Federal Reserve just launched in response to the collapse of the SBB Bank. So it's called Bank Term Lending Program. Okay, inflation simply means, because uh, I've talked to quite a few people, and they don't understand all these terms, because the authorities or the federal everyone who's involved in the financial system, they're gonna coin a term so that to confuse the masses. So inflation primarily, well, you can't see this, you cannot find this in on Google, because they've actually replaced totally the meaning of inflation. But before 1971, the meaning of inflation is uh, the expansion of the money supply, resulting in increase in the prices of goods and services. So meaning increase in the money supply, it means they printed more currency, so that the currency that's already in existence lose its value, right? So it's the same as quantitative easing. It means that the central bank, whoever it is, like Bank of Japan, U.S. Federal Reserve, Bank of England, or uh, European ECB, European Central Bank, Bank of Canada. So whatever bank, central bank it is, when they say quantitative easing, it means that they're buying all these bonds, because these debts have a maturity of sometimes 5, 10, 20 years, even 30 years, sometimes already 50 years and 100 years. So this capital is already been used. So they have this paper that whoever bought it, they gave the paper to the buyer, and he's holding it, and he'll gonna receive so it is sitting there, and they're gonna buy, the central banks buys this from whoever, pension funds, and in turn they gave cash or digits in the screens. So how do they do that? Like, magically, in a few keystrokes of in the computer, uh, these whoever is gonna sell these bonds to the Federal Reserve will get these magical numbers in their screens, and so that they can buy more of it, right? Because primarily, the central banks cannot buy from Federals, when the Treasury auctions off these debts, they cannot buy it directly, because otherwise it will be called monetizing the debt. So what they do is they let the public buy the debt, and then in turn buy the debt from the public and give them these currencies, right? So how do they do that? Like, they magically, like I've said, like magically make these numbers up, and voila, right? So that is another term for for devaluing. They're making currency out of thin air. And then another thing is yield curve control. It's the same thing as quantitative easing, except that they're buying the bonds at a certain yield, at a certain yield. So they set a yield of, say, like 10 years. They're gonna buy it at 2%. So whoever's gonna sell their their bonds, it's gonna be at a 2% yield. So that's how they control the yields of the longer term, or whatever, the short term or the long term debt. So that's how we do it. And the same thing, they're gonna magically make these numbers up in the computer, and whoever's gonna get the numbers, they can go out and buy more of these debts from the treasuries, right? And then another one, the last one, this is their newest program, the bank term lending program. It was just created as an offshoot of the SBB collapse, so that because there was a liquidity crisis, that's how the collapse of SBB and the rest of it's already history. Like, it's already all over the media, like Silvergate, and I can't remember the other one. So instead of holding this debt to maturity, which forms part of the valuation of these banks, um, the Federal Reserve or central banks are gonna buy it from them, so that they can service these withdrawals from their clients. Because what happened was, all these banks don't have the cash. It was because they bought everything from all the cash that they have. They bought these government debts and corporate debts, whatever, whatnot. So that's what happened. They exposed themselves to these bank runs, and the reason why they failed, because they cannot give their depositors their money back, right? So all of these are just meant to devalue the currency. I can show you it's on the Federal Reserve Fed's balance sheet. I can show it to you, and so you can see. So there you have it. Look, they started. That is when they said that they were gonna stop quantitative easing and start quantitative tightening, and it came down to almost just over. So at the peak, they have almost $9 trillion of assets in their balance sheet, meaning they've been buying these bonds and whatnot, and it came down to 8.4 or $8.35 trillion. And now, that was in January. So how many months was that? More than 2 months of quantitative tightening, and now they're back into quantitative easing. But they won't they said that this is not quantitative easing, because everyone, all the population, all the people who are in the financial sphere, knows that quantitative easing is when they print more money, more cash, right? More currency. So they said that this is not quantitative easing, but that's what it is. They just coin another term, so that it may look like that they are not printing cash, but here it is. You can see it, right? I hope you can clearly see it, right? You can see it right there. So I hope you prepare for this, because we don't know what's gonna happen next. Probably a credit crunch, where the banks would stop lending altogether, like what happened in 2008, when um, the other banks they don't know who to trust. They stop lending to each other, and that's what's gonna happen. Probably, I don't know, right? It's just my guess. So I'm just here, like, letting you know, so that you can also prepare for it. Well, I'll see you again next time, and have a great work week ahead of you. And don't forget to click subscribe and like this video. And if you want, you can share it to other people, so that they would also know what's going on around us. Again, thank you for watching. This is Reynan, and that's it for me.